The English Couch. Hey, English learners, welcome back to the English Couch, the little corner where English feels softer, slower, and a bit more human. I'm Mia.
And I'm Leo. And wow, today's topic is honestly kind of emotional.
Yes, because today we're talking about feelings. How to talk about your feelings in English, naturally.
Which sounds simple until someone asks, "How are you really?" And suddenly your brain just leaves the building.
Completely disappears. No vocabulary, no emotional stability, nothing.
Just elevator music inside your head.
Honestly, very relatable.
But before we start, we want to say something important to anyone learning English right now, especially if speaking about emotions feels difficult.
Yes, please remember this. Emotions are already complicated in your own language sometimes.
Exactly. There are days when even in your native language, you're just sitting there thinking, am I tired? Stressed? Hungry? Emotionally confused? All four?
And then somebody asks, "How are you?" And you just say, "Fine."
The most mysterious word in the English language.
Truly.
So, if expressing feelings in English feels hard, that does not mean your English is bad.
Not at all. It just means you are human. Real emotions are messy. They are not neat little vocabulary lists.
Nobody wakes up saying, yes, today I am experiencing moderate disappointment with traces of emotional fatigue.
Although, honestly, that is kind of accurate sometimes.
It really is.
So in today's episode, we're going to explore emotional English in a very real, everyday way.
Not textbook emotions, not dramatic movie speeches.
Just natural English people actually use when they're tired, stressed, happy, overwhelmed, calm, awkward, emotional, all the strange little feelings that appear during normal life.
We'll talk about why feelings are difficult to explain, how native speakers soften emotions, and how tiny emotional sentences can sound surprisingly natural and deep.
And later, we'll also have a little word tour together, where we look at useful feeling vocabulary and expressions in a calm, simple way.
The kind your brain can actually remember instead of admiring for 6 seconds and immediately forgetting.
Very important difference.
And because this is a B1 style episode, the English will sound more natural and conversational, closer to real life.
So if you do not understand every single word, that is completely okay. Stay with the feeling of the conversation.
Because understanding emotion is part of understanding language too.
And we'd love to hear from you as well.
So here's today's question for the comments. What feeling has been strongest in your life lately?
Maybe you've been tired lately. Maybe peaceful. Maybe stressed. Maybe hopeful. Maybe emotionally confused for absolutely no reason.
A very modern emotional experience.
Very modern.
All right then. You know, Mia, I think feelings are one of the hardest things to explain in any language.
I completely agree. And I think English learners notice this very quickly.
Right, because when people first learn emotional vocabulary, they usually learn the big basic words first.
Happy, sad, angry, excited.
Exactly, which is useful, of course. But real emotions are usually much messier than that.
Yes, most days people are not purely one emotion.
Like sometimes you're tired and stressed and hungry and slightly dramatic at the same time.
Very dangerous combination.
Extremely dangerous.
And I think that surprises learners because they expect emotions to sound very clear in English.
But real emotional English is often soft and uncertain.
People say things like, "I'm kind of stressed lately."
Or, I feel a little off today.
Yes, off is such a useful word emotionally.
It really is. If you feel off, it means you do not feel completely normal, emotionally or physically.
Maybe tired, maybe uncomfortable, maybe mentally distracted. Something just feels wrong, but not dramatically wrong.
Exactly. It is vague in a very human way.
And English speakers often prefer softer emotional language.
Right. Instead of saying, I am suffering deeply, most people just say, yeah, it's been a rough week.
Which somehow sounds more real.
Emotional English often becomes more natural when it becomes less dramatic.
And another important thing is that people soften feelings with small words.
Ah, yes, the tiny emotional helpers.
Words like kind of, a little, pretty, honestly, a bit.
Those little words make emotions sound more natural and conversational.
Exactly. I'm stressed sounds strong.
But I'm a bit stressed lately sounds softer and more human.
Yes, it sounds like somebody talking during real life instead of reading from a psychology textbook.
Which is important because emotional conversations are usually delicate.
People often do not want to sound too dramatic or too intense.
So instead of saying, I am emotionally collapsing, people say, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed lately.
Overwhelmed is a beautiful and very useful word.
Definitely. If you feel overwhelmed, you feel like you have too many things, emotionally or mentally, at the same time.
Too much work, too many thoughts, too many responsibilities,
Too many emails.
especially too many emails.
Honestly, email alone could create new emotional vocabulary.
Truly.
And another very common feeling word is drained.
Yes. Drained means emotionally or physically exhausted.
Like all your energy quietly left your body while you were answering messages.
That is painfully accurate,
I think adults spend half their lives saying, I'm fine, just tired.
which often means much more than tired.
Exactly.
And feelings become even harder because emotions change so quickly.
Right. Sometimes you wake up anxious for absolutely no reason.
Or relieved after finishing something stressful.
Relieved is another excellent word.
Yes, if you feel relieved, it means stress or worry finally leaves you.
Like after sending an important email.
Or after surviving a social event.
Oh, absolutely.
Social exhaustion is very real.
Extremely real.
And honestly, many people struggle to explain emotions because emotions are not always logical.
That is such a good point. Sometimes feelings arrive before explanations.
Your body feels heavy first. Your thoughts feel slower first. Then, later, you realize, oh, I think I'm stressed.
Exactly. Humans are emotionally delayed sometimes.
Very delayed.
I once told someone, I think I'm okay. And then 5 minutes later, I realized I was actually incredibly frustrated.
Emotional plot twist.
Huge plot twist.
But that is why emotional English matters so much, because it helps you understand yourself and other people more clearly.
And the good news is this. You do not need complicated vocabulary to sound emotionally real.
Not at all. Sometimes one small, honest sentence is enough.
I'm tired. I've had a long day. I'm feeling weird today.
Simple sentences, real feelings.
And honestly, those are often the most powerful kind.
You know what I really love about emotional English? The fact that very small sentences can feel incredibly human.
Oh, completely. Some of the most natural emotional conversations are actually very simple.
Exactly. Learners sometimes think they need advanced vocabulary to sound deep.
When actually, natural emotional English is often very ordinary.
Things like, I'm a bit tired today. I've had a long day. I'm feeling pretty good, actually.
Those sound real immediately.
Because real people usually speak emotionally in small pieces.
Especially when tired.
Especially when tired.
Nobody comes home after work saying, emotionally speaking, today has generated substantial psychological fatigue.
No, people just walk into the kitchen and whisper, I'm exhausted.
While staring at the fridge with no thoughts behind the eyes.
A universal human moment.
Truly.
And what makes these sentences sound natural is often not the big vocabulary. It is the tiny emotional words around them.
Right. Tiny words create emotional texture.
Pretty. Kind of. A bit. Honestly. Actually.
For example, I'm stressed.
Compared to, I'm kind of stressed lately.
The second one sounds softer, calmer, more conversational.
Exactly. Or, I'm happy.
Compared to, I'm actually feeling pretty good today.
Which sounds much more alive somehow.
Because emotions in real life are rarely direct and simple.
Humans soften things naturally.
Especially uncomfortable feelings.
Yes, people often protect themselves emotionally through softer language.
Like saying, I'm a little tired.
when in reality, they have not rested properly since 2019.
Exactly.
I think many learners worry too much about sounding impressive.
But emotional English works better when it sounds honest instead of impressive.
And honesty is usually simple.
I remember once someone asked me how I was doing, and I said, honestly, I'm just mentally tired.
That already sounds very natural.
Because it was true.
Exactly. Real emotional language often feels calm and specific.
Not dramatic, just human.
And I think listeners should notice how often native speakers say, just.
Oh, wow, yes.
I'm just tired. I just need some quiet. I just want to go home.
Just softens emotions beautifully.
It makes feelings sound more conversational and less intense.
Which is why emotional English often feels emotionally safe.
And safety matters when people talk about feelings.
Definitely.
I also think many people use emotional English indirectly.
Ah, yes. Instead of directly saying sadness, they describe life around the sadness.
Exactly. I haven't been sleeping well. I can't focus lately. My brain feels full.
Those sentences carry emotion without explaining everything directly.
And honestly, that is very natural communication.
Because sometimes people do not fully understand their feelings yet.
Sometimes you only know, I don't feel like myself lately.
That sentence is so real.
It really is. Not myself means you do not feel emotionally normal or emotionally balanced.
Maybe quieter than usual, more tired, more emotional, less energetic.
Something inside feels different.
And listeners should know this. These small emotional sentences are extremely useful in daily English.
At work, with friends, with family, even with strangers sometimes.
Because emotions are part of everyday conversation.
And honestly, small emotional honesty often creates stronger connection than perfect English ever could.
That is such a beautiful point.
Thank you.
Sometimes somebody simply saying, yeah, it's been a hard week, can make another person feel less alone.
Language becomes powerful when it feels real.
And emotional English becomes natural when people stop trying to sound perfect and start trying to sound honest.
You know something interesting about emotions in English? People describe emotions physically all the time.
Oh, wow, yes, constantly.
Like, we do not always say, I feel anxious.
Sometimes we say, my chest feels tight. My brain feels full. I can't relax.
Exactly. Emotional language often becomes body language.
Which honestly makes sense, because feelings live in the body too.
Stress changes sleep. Anxiety changes breathing. Sadness changes energy.
And excitement changes everything.
Especially sleep.
Oh yes, nothing destroys sleep faster than excitement.
Or overthinking.
Dangerous combination.
Extremely dangerous.
I think one of the most common emotional sentences in modern life is, I can't focus today.
Truly, that sentence carries so much hidden emotion sometimes.
Stress, exhaustion, anxiety, distraction, mental overload.
Yes, and another very natural phrase is, my brain feels full.
I love that phrase because it sounds simple but emotionally accurate.
It describes that feeling when your mind has too many thoughts at once.
Too many tabs open, emotionally.
Exactly.
And then there's emotional exhaustion.
Oh yes, emotionally exhausted is such a useful phrase.
It means your body may technically still function.
But emotionally, you are completely done.
Spiritually offline.
Very offline.
Like when someone asks you one small question and suddenly you want to disappear into a blanket forever.
Honestly, deeply relatable.
Blankets have emotional healing powers.
Scientifically unconfirmed, but emotionally true.
Absolutely.
And feelings affect energy levels too.
Right. Calm feelings and anxious feelings create completely different bodies.
If someone feels calm, their body often feels slower, softer, quieter.
But if someone feels anxious, the body becomes tense.
Tense means tight and nervous, physically or emotionally.
Like your shoulders slowly becoming rocks during stress.
Which happens to many people without them even noticing.
Until somebody says, you look stressed. And suddenly you realize your entire body has been emotionally fighting invisible enemies all day.
Very real experience.
And then there's restlessness.
Yes. Restless means unable to fully relax or stay still.
That feeling when your body is tired but your mind refuses to rest.
Or when you keep checking your phone for absolutely no reason.
Ah, yes, modern restlessness.
I think emotional English becomes much easier when learners stop separating emotions from daily life.
That is such a good point.
Because feelings are not abstract things floating somewhere above us.
They affect appetite, energy, concentration, movement, sleep, patience, everything.
Which is why emotional conversations often sound very physical.
Exactly. I'm drained. I'm exhausted. I feel heavy. I need to rest.
Very human sentences.
And honestly, I think learners should feel encouraged by that.
Because you do not always need advanced emotional vocabulary.
Sometimes describing your energy already describes your feelings.
Exactly.
Like, I haven't slept properly. I'm mentally tired. I just need a quiet day.
Those already sound deeply natural,
And very understandable emotionally.
which matters more than sounding perfect.
Always.
You know, Leo, I think another reason emotional English feels difficult is because people often hide their feelings,
Oh, definitely.
even in close relationships sometimes.
Because emotions can make people feel vulnerable.
Vulnerable is such an important word emotionally.
Yes, if you feel vulnerable, you feel emotionally exposed or emotionally open in a risky way.
And many people are afraid of that feeling.
Which is why people soften emotions or avoid them completely.
Exactly. Instead of saying, I'm struggling, people say, I'm just tired.
Or, I'm fine. The world's most emotionally suspicious sentence.
Truly.
And sometimes people hide feelings because they do not want to burden others.
They worry about sounding dramatic or difficult.
Especially adults.
Yes, adults become very skilled at pretending everything is okay.
While internally holding together 17 emotional problems with coffee and determination.
Very accurate.
Barely stable, but still replying to emails.
Which honestly deserves respect.
Huge respect.
And another thing people do emotionally is use humor to protect themselves.
Oh, wow, yes. Constantly.
Somebody says, "How are you?" And the other person says, "Well, emotionally confusing, but alive,"
Which sounds funny.
but usually contains real emotion underneath.
Exactly. Humor often becomes emotional camouflage.
Camouflage is such a good word there.
Thank you.
And many people also keep emotions inside for a long time.
Right, they avoid difficult conversations.
Or they brush feelings off.
Ah, yes. Brush it off is a very useful expression.
If you brush something off, you try to ignore it or act like it is not important.
Even when emotionally, it actually matters a lot.
Exactly.
I think many listeners probably know that feeling.
Pretending something did not hurt, because explaining the hurt feels exhausting.
That sentence felt painfully real.
Unfortunately.
And then eventually emotions build up quietly.
Until someone asks one gentle question, and suddenly everything appears all at once.
Humans are emotionally surprising sometimes.
Very surprising.
Another phrase people use emotionally is, I was trying to hold it together.
Yes. Hold it together means stay emotionally controlled during a difficult situation.
Like trying not to cry in public.
Or trying to stay calm during stress.
Or trying to survive a group project.
A deeply emotional experience.
Truly terrifying.
But I think emotional English becomes easier when learners realize something important. Emotional communication is not always about perfect explanations.
That is so true.
Sometimes people simply want to feel heard.
Not fixed, not analyzed, just heard.
Sometimes somebody says, I'm tired. And what they really mean is, life feels heavy lately.
And often the most caring response is not advice.
It is presence.
Such a beautiful word emotionally.
Thank you.
I remember once a friend told me, I don't really know what's wrong. I just feel off.
And honestly, that sentence alone already communicates so much.
Exactly. Feelings are often unclear even to the person experiencing them.
Which is why emotional English should feel flexible, soft, and human.
Not perfect, just honest enough.
I think one of the most important emotional skills in English is learning how to comfort people, naturally.
Oh, absolutely.
Because many learners know how to describe feelings.
But they do not always know how to respond to feelings.
Exactly. And comforting English is usually very simple.
Not dramatic speeches,
Not movie monologues.
just calm, gentle language.
Things like, that sounds really hard, or, I'm sorry you're dealing with that.
Those sentences sound caring immediately.
Because emotional support often comes from tone, more than vocabulary.
And another very comforting phrase is, take your time.
Such a soft sentence,
Yes, it gives emotional permission to slow down,
which many people desperately need.
especially stressed people,
Or overwhelmed people.
or emotionally tired people pretending they are functional.
The modern human condition.
Truly. I also love the phrase, you don't have to explain everything.
That sentence feels emotionally safe somehow.
Because sometimes people cannot fully explain their feelings yet.
Exactly. Sometimes emotions arrive before language does.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
And one of the warmest phrases in English is probably, I'm here if you want to talk,
Yes, simple, gentle, no pressure.
which matters emotionally.
Because support should not feel like emotional homework.
Absolutely.
I think one mistake people make when comforting others is trying to fix feelings too quickly.
Oh, wow, yes.
Someone says, I'm stressed, and immediately the other person says, just think positively.
Ah, yes, the emotionally useless classic.
Truly.
Because most people already know basic solutions,
What they often need first is emotional understanding.
not immediate problem solving.
Exactly.
And listeners should notice something important here. Comforting English is usually emotionally calm,
Not too intense, not too dramatic.
just steady and kind.
Like, that sounds exhausting. I'm sorry. That must be difficult. I understand.
Those tiny sentences carry a lot emotionally.
Because kindness in English often sounds quiet.
That is such a lovely observation.
And honestly, emotional fluency is not only about expressing yourself.
It is also about making other people feel safe expressing themselves too.
Which may actually be the more important skill.
You know what I find funny about textbooks sometimes? Emotional vocabulary in textbooks can sound extremely dramatic.
Oh, completely.
Words like furious, devastated, delighted.
Which are real words, of course.
But everyday emotional English is usually softer.
Much softer.
People say, I'm annoyed, I'm upset, I'm stressed, I'm exhausted.
Or simply, I've been better.
Such a natural sentence emotionally.
Yes, it communicates difficulty softly without becoming too heavy.
Another very real phrase is, it's been a rough week.
Native speakers use rough emotionally all the time.
A rough day, a rough month, a rough time.
And honestly, emotional English often sounds understated.
Meaning emotions are expressed gently instead of dramatically.
Exactly.
Someone may say, I'm a little emotional today, when internally they are experiencing an entire emotional documentary.
Very true.
And another extremely natural phrase is, I feel weird today.
I love that sentence because it is emotionally vague in such a realistic way.
Humans are weird emotionally sometimes,
Very weird.
which is why emotional fluency does not mean sounding poetic all the time.
It means sounding real.
And real emotional English is usually simple, soft, and flexible.
All right then.
It's time for our little word tour,
The Cozy Vocabulary Corner.
where words become slightly less frightening.
Hopefully.
All right, first word from today's episode, overwhelmed.
If you feel overwhelmed, you feel like you have too many emotions, responsibilities, or thoughts at the same time.
Example, I've been feeling overwhelmed at work lately. Or, there's just too much happening right now.
Repeat, overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed.
Next word, drained.
Drained means completely exhausted, emotionally or physically.
Example, after the meeting, I felt emotionally drained. Or, I just need a quiet evening to recover.
Repeat, drained.
Drained.
Next word, relieved.
Relieved means stress or worry disappears.
Example, I felt so relieved after finishing the exam. Or, she looked relieved when she heard the good news.
Repeat. Relieved.
Relieved.
Next, anxious.
If you feel anxious, you feel worried or nervous about something.
Example, I get anxious before important conversations. Or, he seemed anxious all morning.
Repeat. Anxious.
Anxious. Now our idiom, hold it together.
If you hold it together, you stay emotionally controlled during stress or difficulty.
Example, she was trying to hold it together during the meeting. Or, I almost cried, but somehow I held it together.
Repeat. Hold it together.
Hold it together. Next expression, brush it off.
If you brush something off, you ignore it or pretend it does not affect you.
Example, he laughed and brushed it off. Or, I tried to brush it off, but it actually hurt my feelings.
Repeat. Brush it off.
Brush it off. Next phrase, emotionally exhausted.
Emotionally exhausted means your feelings and energy are completely tired.
Example, after that week, I felt emotionally exhausted. Or, I just need rest and quiet.
Repeat. Emotionally exhausted.
Emotionally exhausted. And finally, not myself.
If you say you do not feel like yourself, it means emotionally or mentally you feel different from normal.
Example, I haven't felt like myself lately. Or, she seemed quiet and not really herself.
Repeat. Not myself.
Not myself.
And those were today's emotional English words and expressions.
Remember, you do not need to learn everything perfectly at once.
Just choose one or two expressions and try using them naturally this week.
Small emotional language becomes powerful through repetition.
And through real life.
You know, Leo, I think today's episode reminds us of something very important. Language becomes meaningful when it connects to real feelings.
Absolutely.
Because English is not only grammar and vocabulary.
It is also comfort, honesty, connection, understanding.
And sometimes fluency is simply being able to say, today was hard.
And being understood when you say it.
That is such a beautiful thing about language.
It really is.
So if emotional English feels difficult sometimes, please be patient with yourself.
Real feelings are complicated for everyone.
And honestly, small emotional sentences are already enough.
I'm tired. I'm stressed. I need some quiet. I'm doing better today.
Those tiny sentences carry real human life inside them.
Which makes them important.
And we'd love to hear from you now.
What feeling is hardest for you to describe in English?
And what phrase from today's episode felt most useful or most personal to you?
Tell us in the comments. We genuinely love hearing your thoughts.
We really do.
All right then.
Take care of your English.
And take care of your heart too.
This is Mia.
And this is Leo.
And you've been listening to The English Couch.
Bye everyone.
Bye!